We are back with Dr. George Denniston. Dr. Denniston, thank you again so much for joining us at Birth.World.
You're very welcome. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you. We're so happy. I love talking to you every single time we do this. I'm really excited to do more and more because, the information you provide is invaluable. Parents need to hear this. And so I'd love to ask you, because for pregnant women, for women who are expecting at the moment, or even thinking about having babies, who don't even have babies yet, or perhaps they do, or they're having their second or third babies. I have a question about healthy women who are don't have complications. Should they be delivering their babies in hospital and also with obstetricians?
Well, I'm sorry to say that I think I can make a case that American obstetricians, with a few exceptions like Dr. Northrup, should not be allowed anywhere near a woman in labor.
Wow. Okay, that's a really bold statement, and it's one that begs the question: why? Why do you think this? Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, I can. The first and major reason is cesarean sections. The experts say that it should be around, the C-section rate should be around 3 to 6%, and in America right now it's at 30%.
That's really high, and I've heard some countries even much higher, and it just it always drives me crazy when misinformation is given. It's not even the mother's or the parent's choice, because of course we don't want to judge a mother's choice after she has the right information, but that information is simply not there, and especially in hospitals.
That's right.
And I was talking to a really good friend of mine, Joanne, she's the personal raw food chef to Giselle Bündchen, Tom Brady's wife, who delivered her baby naturally with midwives, and we also know her midwife. And she's from Brazil, Dr. Denniston. And in Brazil, I was reading something that said it's above 89%. It's like over 90% is the C-section rate. And the reason for this may be financial, maybe misinformation, maybe all of the above. So I agree with you. I think, it's kind of a downward spiral, isn't it? Once we enter that hospital and talk to certain doctors.
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't believe that they know what harm they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think they feel they're doing harm, but I believe they are. And another reason is because of the induction. They start inducing labor with drugs, and before the baby's ready to be born. Mm-hmm. And this should not be done, except rarely.
Absolutely. And who should decide when, who other than perhaps the baby itself should decide when the perfect time is to be born?
Well, that's right. And in fact, right now, the National Health Service in Great Britain has come out and said that normal women should no longer deliver in hospitals.
Wow.
They should deliver either at home or at birthing centers.
That is a massive move forward and a big statement. We have read a lot of the evidence-based information on how home births are safe, if not safer, for many reasons than in hospitals. So I'm so happy to hear some countries are really making a move forward in this direction.
That's right.
Yeah, and if we can all follow suit and understand what's best for the birthing mother, which is to basically be left alone until otherwise indicated.
That's right. I mean, the woman who is in labor is it's like an Olympic athlete.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the frame, and she should not be disturbed.
Yes.
And the people I admire are the ones who know to leave her alone.
There's so many here at Birth.World, and so many phenomenal experts, and you're among them. And I love hearing you say this in your voice. It's so incredibly validating. And so induction and C-sections. Now, what about episiotomies? I have a question about that. And are they still performed, and why?
Yes. Well, it's a long story, but to make a long story short, in 1920 they were introduced with the idea that they would reduce the risk of serious lacerations. And recent research has proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that they increase the risk of serious lacerations, so they shouldn't be done. But they're still being done.
Wow, amazing. And just, yeah, I know certain hospitals are not doing them as much anymore. But I do personally know women in my life who've had episiotomies, and even some of them after they said no, thank you, I don't want it. Yet the scissors were taken out and the procedure was done. And to me, this is a violation, a massive violation of that mother's rights, because she verbally said, don't do it.
That's another reason why I make the case that doctors shouldn't be allowed near them, because they don't respect women. There are too many of them that don't have enough respect. They make a contract with the woman in advance that they won't do this, they won't do that, and they won't do that. But when it comes to the chips are down, they do all sorts of things without their permission.
Yes. Perhaps because they feel they know best, but also perhaps because they're running on a schedule, on a clock. And, they have to be somewhere, and the episiotomy in their minds is a fast way to delivery. So it's shocking when you really hear about it. And so what about procedures such as, because I know at home I was able to leave my cord pulsating, and all of this stuff. What about also leaving things alone? Not only the woman in birth, but I know women who've had what's called a lotus birth who don't have that cord cut at all. So
Yes.
what do you think about that? The cutting of the cord too early?
The lotus birth is a wonderful thing, but very few people do it.
Yes.
They have to keep the placenta in a pan near the baby for the few days until it naturally separates, which it does.
What about the cutting of the cord too early? What are your thoughts on that?
The problem there is that's what almost all obstetricians do today. They don't wait until the pulsating stops, so all the blood in the placenta that's supposed to be in the baby doesn't get there.
Wow.
So the baby is born anemic, and there's no one knows how many babies have died as a result of being born anemic, because this is a very fragile time of life. We all know that, and this is when babies do die in the first year of life. If they're compromised in this way, they can be a statistic.
Yes, and jaundice, and we wonder why some complications arise later. And sometimes it's often not linked to certain things like cutting the cord too early. Can you tell me why a lot of obstetricians just want to sever the cord and be done with it? Why is that?
I don't think I really know. I mean, they just don't. In the operating room, of course, it's taking time and it costs money to be there.
Okay.
And they also the critical statement is that they want to go out and play golf, and of course that to me has no place in obstetrics. This is too wonderful a process and too important to be worried about anything else.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, people do worry about other things.
Right. So the healthy, normal, uncomplicated pregnancy should consider other healthcare providers outside of obstetricians, and more empowering ones perhaps. But, for the very, very, very small percent of women, much smaller than 30%, and perhaps even close to 6%, as some physicians have indicated, for those people, of course, we're thankful that we have obstetricians for surgery in a lot of the cases.
Yes, sometimes they're very necessary.
Sometimes they're necessary.
One of the things I don't think they understand, I don't actually know how many obstetricians understand the concept of empowerment for women during birth. I know personally a number of women who told me that it's the most important time of their lives. And this empowerment that they got by being in control of their births stood them in great stead during the next, actually 50 to 60 years when they were the parent of this child.
Wow.
And grown up, because you're never an ex-mother.
Right.
And so that empowerment that they received at birth, it gave them the ability to do a good job as a parent. And doctors help women not get this, and they interfere with a woman getting that empowerment all too often.
Wow. So I can't wait for everyone to hear this statement. And, it's so important. Do you have anything to add about that, obstetricians and women, and, the whole respect issue?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, what we would like to do is select doctors to become obstetricians who respect women. There's no question about that. And I was very happy to see in my lifetime the majority of residents in obstetrics become women, and that's what's happened in the last 10 years.
Yes.
And that makes some sense. But sometimes these women are forced to be more like men to keep up with the demands of their specialty.
Yes.
But in time, they will settle down as women and understand women a lot better than the men do.
There's a sacred wisdom between women that, we share certain things in our bodies. And I felt that myself in my second birth with the wise women that attended my own birth, beautiful birth attendants. And so, I would hands down go that route for my third pregnancy whenever that happens. And so, in your opinion, who's best suited for the healthy pregnant mother?
Well, actually, I mean, a midwife is a very good place to start. And if you get the right midwife, you can have a wonderful experience.
That's
and
excellent.
so you have to look into this and check it out. And of course, I have to say there's one more thing that obstetricians do that's unforgivable, and that is that if it's a boy, they circumcise him.
Yes.
They cut off half of the normal skin of his normal penis for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
And this is an unforgivable thing that is happening basically only in America and/or for religious reasons in other parts of the world.
Yes. And as you mentioned once before to me in our previous discussion, even for religious reasons, it doesn't have to be, because it's not part of the religion. It's tradition. And a lot of, for example, Jewish people are changing that.
That's right. There is a website called Celebrants of Brit Shalom, which has over 100 rabbis who are willing to perform the ceremony without the cutting.
That's fantastic. And of course, that's an option that not many people know about, and it's important that we do, and it's important that we spread the word. So thank you for including that last piece. It's so important. It's not the parents' fault, because they have a certain amount of trust and respect for that doctor caring for them and the baby. So if we inform and educate the doctors, I think that's amazing as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Thank you so much again, Dr. Denniston, and we're going to be posting all the links for everyone to find you and all the information you provide. And I can't wait to speak again. Thanks so much for your time.
Okay, Margot. Thanks a lot.
And
Bye.
on behalf of Birth.World, Margot signing off. Thanks, everyone.